In the lush forest, a peacock, admired for its stunning feathers, grew envious of the nightingale's beautiful singing. It lamented to a wise sage, asking why it was denied such a gift. The sage replied, "Find joy in what you have rather than longing for what you lack." All this time, the peacock was so focused on its shortcomings, it wasn't able to feel confident in its strengths. Why do you focus so much on what you don't have and so much on what other people do have? That's not a fair test. That's how you start to feel self-conscious. That's how you start to lose confidence in yourself, because you're constantly focusing on what other people are really good at and what you're not so good at. By doing this over and over again throughout your life, you start to create this illusion, this fake narrative that everyone else is somehow better than you at most things. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Once you spot this self-deprecating pattern and this loop that you got yourself in, you'll be able to actually become someone who feels better, who's more confident, who is luckier, because you'll be able to see the world clearly for what it really is, rather than this negative version of yourself. And when you have confidence in yourself and you can see yourself for what you really are, not this puny, tiny version of yourself, you can make more of an impact on the world and more of an impact on other people. It's really important that you see yourself not as the version that we all see in the mirror, that we have our self-consciousness and our insecurities. It's important that you see what you really are, what other people actually see you as. It all starts with understanding your strengths. So just like when you see your friend or your colleague or whatever it is and you think, oh man, I really admire this about that person, look at yourself from that same third person perspective and try to identify some things that you see as objective strengths. For example, for me, I would always be so self-conscious about how much I talked. It sort of came naturally. I didn't really shy away from talking in front of groups of people. And I always saw that as a negative thing. And I think I've talked about that here before. But then I stepped back and I thought, how do other people actually view me? Or what do my friends and people that I know tell me about myself that maybe I don't see? And I started to remember the times that people would say, oh man, you just it's so easy for you to talk to people. I really admire that about you. And all that time where I saw myself as one thing, people were seeing me as a completely other thing. Because it's not about how you perceive yourself, it's about what you objectively are. That's important. Your strengths aren't really up for debate. You're just good at some things and bad at other things. Like the peacock has the great feathers, but it can't sing. And that's okay, because everyone has their own unique combination of strengths and weaknesses. And so the first thing that you want to do to become a happier, healthier, stronger, more confident version of yourself is to look at yourself and think about what you're actually good at. And if you need some help identifying that or asking some prompts to ask yourself what you're actually good at, I have a free questionnaire thingy that I made. There's no catch. I just get your email and I send you my weekly newsletter. That's it. So now that you've figured out your strengths, assuming that you've gone away and thought about it, you're going to use those strengths and this version of yourself that you've seen from an objective lens as a weapon that you can come back to. Because moments of weakness, moments of self-consciousness, moments of insecurity are inevitable. No matter how enlightened someone is, they will always have those kind of thoughts. And it's not about not having those thoughts. It's about being able to call upon your positive view of yourself whenever you are thinking those negative thoughts. So whenever I'm feeling self-conscious about myself, I always say, well, look, remember you did that exercise and you came up with this strengths about yourself. So even though you're feeling sad right now, just remember that that's objectively the case. Or if when I always use it is if I see someone else and I start to envy them, like we talked about earlier, and I think, oh man, that person, like, they just get the detail. Like, I just can't do what they do. Like, they're so much better at that than me. And then I think, but I'm better at the bigger picture view than they are, or I'm better at managing the finances of a project, not so much the nitty gritty. And so it's always important to, whenever you compare yourself to someone else, compare yourself fairly, compare strengths to strengths and weaknesses to weaknesses, and you'll see that you're basically equal to everyone. You just have your own strengths and weaknesses. And so this isn't about devaluing the other person's strengths. It's about disarming the unfair negative thoughts that you place upon yourself. Positivity is the key to self-confidence, and self-confidence is the key to a happy life. The self-confidence that you will build from keeping your strengths front of mind will completely change who you are and your life. 1, it'll make you happier and more secure in your skin. 2, it'll make you do better quality work because you do it with confidence. And 3, it'll allow you to start contributing to the world in a more meaningful and efficient way because you understand and appreciate your strengths, which allows you to lean into them. So I want you, if you haven't already, to really go away and dig into your self-understanding. Look at yourself from over here and think, what am I good at? What are my strengths? And whenever you appreciate someone else, don't let that devalue your own self. When you appreciate someone else, that's a great thing, but also make sure that you're appreciating yourself and your strengths. You're not saying they're so good at that, therefore I must be shit. It's they're good at X, I'm good at Y. And that's how you want to be able to start to keep your self-confidence high when you admire others, rather than letting it, by definition, bring you down. And if you keep doing that, like we said, your self-confidence will skyrocket and you'll start to understand your own skills and your strengths. And that's when you start to take that next step in life, because you start to realize no one else is better or worse than me. We're just different. And this is what I'm good at, and I'm going to double down on that. So yeah, I know that's very high level, but that really helps me in my life, and I think it will help you too if you do it properly. So sorry I missed the last week's upload. It was Christmas time and New Year's, so I hope everyone had a happy holidays. And again, that questionnaire is in the link in the description. It's free. I just get your email to send you my newsletter, which is basically these videos in text form. So yeah, leave a comment if you enjoyed it. Leave a like. That'll be great. Thank you.